All right, welcome back, everyone. Here we are, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. We're doing a night flight again. It's 2 a.m. and we're going to be flying from MMRX over in Mexico, and we're going to be heading on over to Texas. So Corpus Christi, just outside of that, is where we're headed to. It's going to be a water landing. We're going to hopefully see some water. So we're pretty much flying up here by this area here, and it does look like it's going to be relatively nice weather, if this is actually accurate or not. But we're going to be landing in runway number 32, so we're going to go ahead and check NeoFly here. We're going to accept that mission, and we're going to see. So we're looking at 12.6 million. That's not too shabby. So we're gonna get this thing going here for you. So appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate the love and support.
It looks like the weather is perfect for flying.
Hope everybody's enjoying their week.
Hello, pilot. Your passengers are waiting for you. Let me know when we can send them. The passengers are ready to board. I hope you have plenty of room. It looks like they have gone crazy at the duty-free shop.
Reynosa Tower, Cessna November 11361, ready for south departure at runway 13.
Alright, we'll get everything going here. We'll get seatbelts and safety lights for the passengers. We're gonna go ahead and get rid of our flaps. We are runway
Boarding is complete. You can start your flight.
runway 31.
Everything looks good from where I'm sitting. Taxi to the runway and take off.
Alright, so we are ready to go here. So buckle up, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate you tuning in once again. Let's get this thing up in the air. So we're going to release the parking brake, increase our throttle to 100%. We did not set any autopilot stuff just yet, so we'll have to do that in the air. Normally we get that all squared away, but I don't know, it is what it is. But we're taking off here.
Good flight.
Airport information golf 0600 Zulu. Wind 150 at 5. Visibility 10. Skynet. Harlingen Airport information golf 0600 Zulu. Wind 150 at 5. Visibility 10. Reynosa Tower, Cessna November 11361. Frequency change.
Alright, we started off with that junk, but we got it straightened out.
Reynosa approach, Cessna November 11361 is type Cessna C-25C, 2 miles northwest of Reynosa, 1,600 feet. Request flight following. Cessna November 11361, Reynosa approach, squawk 4056. Squawk 4056, Cessna Tree 61. Cessna Tree 61. Radar contact 5 miles northwest of Reynosa, 3,200 feet. Altimeter 2986. Roger, Cessna Tree 61. Cessna Tree 61, contact Valley approach on 126.55. Good day.
Alright, I think... What are we doing here? Alright, we can increase our... Well, you know what?
Cessna Tree 61, acknowledge last transmission. Going to 126.55, Cessna Tree 61. Valley approach, Cessna November 11361 for 1,600 feet. Cessna November 1, 1361. Valley approach. Altimeter 2986. Radar contact. Continue.
Alright, we're looking pretty good there. So we got radar, or not radar, ATC all squared away. We got our heading we're gonna get adjusted here. And we do, we got a nice clear clear day here. So we're gonna go ahead and grab this for our thumbnail. That. We'll head back in here. We're gonna figure out. Alright, so we are episode what? Let's go ahead and figure that out, shall we? Alright, content. We're up on episode number 88, so let's get this thing up and saved here. So this is 88. Go ahead and save that. We can close that. And we're going to check our nav maps here. I think we're looking good. We can kind of adjust our heading here. There you go. Looks good. Deuce our engine output a little bit. We're cruising pretty good at 237. Beautiful flight here. Oh, goodness. Safe altitude here is only 1,500 feet. Good look at the airport there, about 6 miles out. Got another airfield out there, about 12 miles. And we are 80 miles away from the top of our descent. open up Photoshop. We'll do a thumbnail as we're flying here. Might as well get that done and out of the way. Get some drone shot edit stuff. We're gonna go ahead and move to this. So this is gonna be, let's see. So episode number 88. Go ahead and drop in the screenshot we just took. It's a nice looking shot there. Alright, and we are going where here? So we are departing from, let's see, Reynosa, Mexico, and we are headed towards Rockport, Texas. Alright, so we got our thumbnail. We can export that. And then we can close that and we'll save it. So that's how the thumbnail is done, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead and check.
Tree 61, contact Houston Center on 1 tree.75. Good day.
Alright, we'll contact Houston.
1 tree.75. Cessna Tree 61. Houston Center, Cessna November 11 Tree 61 for 1,500 feet. Cessna November 11 Tree 61. Houston Center, altimeter 2985. Radar contact, continue.
Alright, we're coming up to 69E, or otherwise known as State Road or Highway 77 here. This is what I'm looking at. So this is our nav maps here. This is the road that we're coming up here. Highway 77, but it's also tagged as 69E. And coming up to Armstrong. We're going to be headed out towards the Gulf of Mexico here. I do not call that the Gulf of America. That is the dumbest shit that I've ever heard of. But is what it is in this day and age, I guess. Alright, we are looking at 57 nautical miles to go here. It states 9 minutes, so that would put us at 225. We'll see how accurate that is. And it looks like Hurricane has landed. So maybe we'll go ahead and do that. So we currently sit at 2.7 million. Or not 12.7 million. And that was Snoop that landed. Or no, that was Hurricane that landed. And that was a passenger mission. And we made 64,488 minus the airport fee of 548. So there we have it. Kind of curious. Yeah, it's a regular passenger mission. And they're at 48%. We might just let them rest a little bit. Snoop is estimated to land at 344. And they are headed to Brussels. Almost close to Brussels. So super, super close to our friend in Belgium. And Hurricane, where did they land? They're going to be taking a break in Montana. So 3 different countries here. Hurricane is in the United States. We're in Mexico currently, but we are flying into Texas, so we'll be there shortly. And yeah, and Snoop is headed over to Belgium, so there we have it. Everything's looking good. I am tired, so I'm going to get some rest after this one. Alright, let's get some exterior view here and see what's going on, and then I'll be right back. So it looks like we are on track here. 37 miles to go to the top of our descent. It says 6 minutes, which puts us, I don't know, I guess about a minute or so behind schedule, but we're cruising on up there. Probably our destination up this way. going to be coming up to water at some point soon. Alright, let's take a look.
Contact approach on 120.9.
Go figure. ATC interrupting you.
Going to 120.9er, Cessna Tree 61. Approach Cessna November 11 Tree 61 for 1,500 feet. Cessna November 11 Tree 61. Approach altimeter 2984, radar contact, continue.
Alright, 2984. Let's figure out what that is in millibars. So 2984. That's pretty low. It's somewhere between 1010 and 1011. We're sitting at 1013, so let's go ahead and adjust that. We'll do 1011. Alright, so we got that all situated. Let's go ahead and get some information on the airport here. So we are about 3 minutes out from the top of our descent. We're going to go ahead and look at our airport here. We're going to be landing in runway number 32. Sits at 5,587 feet in length, and taxiway A and C are all our paths to the runway here. Oh, and also B. So we can probably hit I don't know, B or A into the parking area here. And it only sits 20 feet above sea level, so that's not too bad. We can probably start about, let's go ahead and, I'm looking right here, and I'm setting our descent down to, we'll say 1,500. We are crossing over some water here. And we do have a little bit of land over here, and then the Gulf of Mexico is there. So this is basically like the inlet here, and this whole lit up area is Corpus Christi. So we're going to be passing that and probably landing up over in this one, that third one out maybe. We'll see. Well, nah, actually maybe not. We might be landing in one of these. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see, I guess. So we're looking at 12 miles out from the top of our descent and 49 miles to the airport. go ahead and hit FLC, start our descent. We still have the seatbelt and stuff on. We'll go ahead and ding that just in case. There you go. Everybody put their seatbelts on. We're coming in for a landing here. All right, crossing over 3,000 feet.
Altitude
24. (2,000 feet). Target's 1,500. We're leveling out 1,600. 1,500. Speed's coming down. Once that hits to 200, we're going to drop our landing gear. We're going to increase our engine output just a little bit. We want to maintain somewhere under 200. Nice, we got another pilot over there. Alright, we're looking for KRKP. It's probably going to be the furthest away. Keep an eye on that. We can increase our throttle just a little bit. gentlemen, we are getting super close. We are crossing by the Corpus Christi Bay here. We are getting close enough too that we're going to go ahead and introduce some flaps. That'll slow us down a little bit. Acknowledge the handoff.
125.4, Cessna Tree 61. Approach Cessna November 11 Tree 61, 1,500 feet.
Altimeter 2988. Radar contact continue.
We're going to look for the list here. Once again, we're looking for KRKP. I think I saw it. Nope, that was KCRP. Alright, so that wasn't it. Oh! Can we go back one? I feel like I saw it there. Because it's also called... Where is it? There it is. No, that's not it. We gotta be getting close though. Yeah, that was just a helipad. Here it is, KRKP. Now we can select the runway. It's going to be runway number 32. We'll announce a full stop landing and announce our position.
Kilo Romeo Kilo Papa traffic. Cessna November 11 Tree 61, 16 miles south, 1,500 feet. Inbound to land, runway tree 2. Kilo Romeo Kilo Papa traffic.
There we have it. And then we'll announce our final when we start our final turn towards the airport. Alright, this is what I'm looking at on my other screen. This is our nav map. We're flying along here. We're going to be turning at about 6 miles before the runway, so we can probably even adjust our altitude here a little more. We're going to go to, let's say, 1,000 feet.
Altitude.
Nice. That was Camille finishing the drink distribution, so now everybody's happy at 100%. We just got to keep them that way on the landing. Alright, coming up towards Rockport. over to our left here. On the island over there. And then we're going to be flying over Fulton. And if we're landing on runway number 32, that means about 320 degrees is what we're looking for. Give or take 5 degrees either direction. Alright, let's do a check here. We got landing gear down, flaps are at 15%, trim is at 10, speed's at 144, it's not too bad. Elevation sits at about 1,000 feet, all looking pretty good. And we're going to get ready to turn towards 320 degrees here to line up to runway number 32 over in KRKP. Alright, we're going to start our turn here.
Altitude.
Oh, that was altitude. Didn't want to do that. But that's alright. Alright, lining up. Overshot it a little bit. That's the airport over there, so we're going to go ahead and adjust our heading a little bit more to the right. We got the blinkers over there. Once we level out, I'm going to go ahead and
Autopilot.
turn autopilot off here. We're going to announce our final.
Kilo Romeo Kilo Papa traffic. Cessna November 11361 is on final. Runway tree 2 to land. Kilo Romeo Kilo Papa traffic.
We'll adjust our viewpoint here. Alright, let's get everything all steady. Alright, we're going to reduce our throttle just a touch here. Alright, wind's at 15 knots, right at our back. So we're actually going to go ahead and introduce a little more flap here. 35 degrees due to the wind. We probably should have landed over at the other side of the runway, but that's alright. We'll make this work. Speed's at 120, looking good. Lined up to the runway pretty nice.
Nice landing, pilot.
Alright, we got a nice landing. So we'll take it.
Taxi to parking and shut down your engine.
Alright, so with that, let's go ahead and stop there for 1 second. We'll go ahead and turn on our taxi lights. And we're going to zoom in on the airport. So this is going to be Alpha, taxiway Alpha here. Alright, we'll stop there. We'll announce our taxi to parking. Watch out for that guy. This is our parking area right here. We'll go ahead and spin around. Stop. Perfect. Alright, parking brake is set. So we're going to go ahead and hit our switches here.
Transporter. Disembarkation in progress. Stand by.
Alright, everything is shut off. So nice smooth landing here. We can probably go ahead and check our landing. Do the log. So minus 106 on the landing. Not too bad.
Transporter. Disembarking finished. Have a nice day.
And that was 144 nautical miles.
Let's go.
Alright, so with that, we're going to end the flight. Appreciate you guys tuning in once again. It was a nice little night flight here over to Rockport, Texas, just outside of Corpus Christi. So until next time, we will see you later.